Hello, I just thought I would show you my studio mates. This is Socks. She is currently under the table on my scraps of paper looking at me. This is one of her favourite places at the moment. And hello, Anouk. She's going, don't you look at that cat. That cat's it's me. You should look at me. Or River. River's getting comfortable. This is his favourite seat. He loves it. Just getting nice and comfortable there. And a lick from his friend. Hello, River. And now the cat's going to leave. And like most cats, she is going to sit on what I'm working on. So annoying. That of all the places she could sit on, she needs to sit on where I'm about to work. But she loves being in the studio with me and the dogs. So I shouldn't really grumble. And the hair's growing back after operation. Now this is a tiny little fish. I don't think he's a real little fish in real life, but he was quite fun to do, and his picture's quite lovely as well. He's pale grey, yellow and white, and I decided to draw him quite small next to the shark. I think sometimes smallness in the detail, smallness can be quite magnificent. People always think that when you do something really, really big, the grand scale of it makes it magnificent. But sometimes small can be really, really good as well. So here he is, really, really tiny. Do hope you're enjoying this series as much as I am creating it. Now, as many of you know, I have a fish pond in my garden, and some of the fish are really, really big. And I've always wanted a fish pond with big fish. Ever since I watched a program called The Singing Ringing Tree, and I expect some of you would know about it. In England, in the 60s, we had some foreign stories come over to our country. They were narrated in English, but they were foreign. And The Singing Ringing Tree is about a really, really grotty princess who's so spoilt that she would only marry a prince, if he could bring her the singing ringing tree. Now, the dwarf that owned the singing ringing tree knew that she was quite evil, and he kidnapped the prince and turned him into a bear, and he also kidnapped her. And to some people the program was quite scary, but to me and my husband Eddie, we loved it, because one of the things in the singing ringing tree was a giant fish. He lived in the pond in the dwarf's garden, and one day the pond froze over and the fish was caught in the ice, and the princess, she saved him to show that she wasn't all bad. And so when you were a child, that's one of the things that you wanted in your garden, was a fish pond with a giant fish in. Now our fish have travelled quite a way with us. We got them in Manchester from a lady who was giving up her pond because she was getting older, and they moved to Salford with us, and they lived in our back garden, and then they moved down to Swindon where they had a new pond made, and they lived there for a while, and now 3 years later they live in another house with another pond, and the pond is much more accessible than where it was before, because the other house, it was built on a slope, but this time it's on flat ground. And many of you may have seen this pond in previous videos, and I do love sitting by my pond, and the biggest fish comes up, and it does make me smile because it makes me think of the singing ringing tree. There's nothing more peaceful than having fish in the garden, and all the wildlife it brings to the garden too. We have frogs and toads and newts, and apparently in the heat wave we had a grass snake actually basking in the pond. I'm glad I wasn't there that day, because I would have run a mile, because I'm not too keen on snakes, although I would enjoy drawing some. And my kitten Socks actually brought down a dragonfly. We do have quite a few dragonflies that visit the pond, and he managed to jump up and bring one down, much to the demise of the dragonfly. So yeah, we are really lucky in our garden to have fish and dragonflies. And we have a buddleia by the fish pond too. So when we sit on our chair watching the fish, we are surrounded by butterflies in the summer, which is amazing. But even if you have a small garden, do make yourself a little fish pond, because there is nothing more peaceful than watching fish. You never know, you may have a big fish in there, as big as the fish from the singing ringing tree. And please do Google it, because it is, well, it's very, very dated now, but when we were children, it was amazing to watch it, because you fill in all the badly made props with your imagination. Oh, sorry about that, folks. Yes, please, I'll have the heating on. Sorry, that's my husband just asking if I wanted the heating on. He was unaware that I am recording. He's looking at me now, a bit shell-shocked. This is the trouble when you do voiceovers. Unless you have one of those light up signs that says on air, nobody knows. But no, we're going to be lovely and warm in a minute with our heating on. But yeah, as I was saying, do Google the singing ringing tree. I think it's from somewhere like Hungary or somewhere. It is dated, but stick with it and you will see this fish that enchanted or scared the living daylights out of many children in the 60s on BBC World TV. Oh, my tummy is rumbling as well now, as well. And my husband Eddie is doing a little funny dance. He's also told me that my son's coming over in a minute to see me, as I've been poorly. So I hope you've enjoyed this tiny little fish. Like I say, he is a cutie. No, not you, Eddie, who's dancing in front of me. It's floundering like a fish out of water. So, anyway, please, we would love it if you'd thumbs up. That does help my YouTube get noticed. Like, comment, and please become a subby. And if you're doing Inkoctober yourself, why don't you post it on the Puff of Smoke community page? It is on the information coming up next. See you tomorrow from me and the little fish.